Hello Vlogalogue, how you guys doing? I'm doing pretty okay. So this week, Kevin has us talking about daemons, and specifically daemons that seem to give us a lot of trouble and sort of beat us up and make us feel horrible about ourselves for a variety of different reasons. And personally, I can't sympathize with the daemons that seem to give Kevin trouble and that doing other things makes him feel guilty. If anything, I have the reverse problem. Whereas I can just procrastinate days and days away and just do everything last minute and feel no guilt about that at all, even if it really winds up hurting the final project or product. Not final project, working on projects has anyway. So procrastination is not a demon in my life, and I've learned how to work with it and work around it. Earlier in my life, it was a huge problem, but it's not so much anymore. And I wouldn't say that's a daemon that terrorizes me. It just was a thing that I had to learn how to deal with, and I did. But yeah, suffice it to say that I don't have a problem with goofing off and doing other stuff because life is rare, and you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So we have to strike this balance between what we do today to enjoy and what we do so that we can enjoy later on. And so there's this expected value of the probability of not being able to enjoy what you've set up for later on because some random event will occur. And so you have to take some time in the now to enjoy yourself, and not just always be preparing for tomorrow. Which I think is a huge thing, and striking that balance between today and tomorrow is a really hard thing to do. But particularly, it doesn't give me a ton of issue, and I certainly don't feel guilty about not doing it. However, I will say that the daemon that does sort of creep up, and is something that I don't always know how to handle, and unlike procrastination, which was something that I had to learn to work through. I'm trying to work through it, haven't always gotten there. And that's sort of, and I hesitate to talk about this again because we kind of talked about it a while back when I brought it up because it's very much an ongoing thing, is that I undervalue, well, in some instances, it feels like a very self-important thing to say, is that I undervalue myself a lot. Perhaps, maybe, it's not something that I think necessarily, if I know, happens all the time. It's hard because you think I'm the greatest person ever, and you're like, yeah, you're just full of yourself. But if you think I'm the worst person, well, now you're on the totally wrong end of the spectrum. And finding the middle ground, the point where you actually are, is so hard. And so, because I don't want to seem like a pompous blah 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 guy, I try and I don't think it comes across very well on the internet because that's one of the reasons that I tried to make YouTube videos, is because I wanted to work on this problem. And so I think it's hard. It becomes even harder for me to talk about this on camera because it's not a part of me that I think always shows through, because it's very actively something I'm trying to work on. And I'm trying to be more, perhaps, full of myself and more confident in my abilities on the internet. Because in reality, if you ask me to evaluate my skills, I will almost always give you lower numbers than reality. And this affects not only like things at work, job, school, but also in like social interactions, because I undervalue how other people feel about me. And it gives me a lot of anxiety when trying to reinitiate social things. So in the moment, it's okay because things are just as they are. But when I'm alone afterwards, thinking back on how the situation went, I will undervalue. I think I undervalue. I'm pretty sure that I do contributions to social interactions and contributions to work and contributions to projects and that type of stuff. And dialing that in is really hard for me. And it's something that I don't like. But again, I talked all about this over like a couple weeks ago. So in an effort not to go overboard with this here video, I think I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. And that's definitely a daemon that drives me up a wall. And I think it's definitely the biggest cause of worry and stress in my life. And if I had a better way of gauging myself and other individuals, it wouldn't be a problem. But yeah, I find this interesting because everyone has different ways of looking at the world, and everyone has their own unique certain sets of problems. And I think it's interesting to learn how other people struggle and how other people perceive the world around us. So I think it's a very good topic, and I'm curious to see what people have to say in the comments and in their own videos. And with that, lovely Vlogalogians, I'll see you next week. Bye!